Alright, welcome back. Thanks for clicking on the video. In this video, I wanted to take a look at kind of, I don't know why, but Call of Duty and other games, other shooter games, don't have low light modes where you need a weapon light. And they don't do this, I think, because it just takes too much work for one specific thing. But I think Modern Warfare gets the closest because they have a dedicated night vision game mode, which means maybe in the future we get a low light vision game mode, or a low light game mode, night vision game mode, and just regular daytime. But here I just wanted to show you a couple of lights that I have and just stress the importance of having a weapon mounted light. So let's start off with the Glock. Alright, yeah, quick thing, I don't want to have to do this every time, but this gun is cleared. There's no ammo in the magazine and there's nothing chambered. Trigger is depressed. So I want to talk about what's probably one of the most, if not the most, trusted and or popular weapon mounted lights for pistols right now, and that is the Surefire X300. Let's see if we get a good angle there. This is a good light because it's one, Surefire has a good reputation in the firearms and defense industry for making very rugged products, especially when it comes to lights. Now, something that some people might not know is that having your light this close to your muzzle, it receives quite a bit of force and shock, I guess we'll say. Muzzle blast is pretty gnarly, especially if you're next to it. So the fact that these flashlights can withstand that means that they have to be built out of pretty hard material, and so this is some special aluminum, I'm sure. But it's got to be able to work and be reliable. Now, not all of my lights have been reliable, and I've got a couple here, and I'll show you for one reason or another why one is not as reliable as the other for me. I'm not saying this for you. I think everybody should go out and try whatever light that they want to, but for me, just some of the things that I've run into that this X300 from Surefire doesn't give me problems with. So let's start with that. The first light I ever bought for my pistols was the Inforce APLC. Now this is a little polymer light that attaches on. I think it's built for G19s, as it has that, it's about that length. But it also fits on other compact guns like this CZP-07. This is my favorite gun, my favorite pistol. And so it looks really good and it fits really well, and I got this light as a little EDC light. And it does work really well. It's very, well, it's not, it's 200 lumens, but it's 200 lumens in a way that is really good for identifying, let's say, a target, but not for blinding a target. Interestingly enough, though, this is pretty bright when you're looking right at it. Nothing compared, though, obviously, to the X300, which is 1,000 lumens. Quite a big difference between 200 lumens and 1,000 lumens, especially when this has a hot spot that's very bright, and then this is more of a diffused light, which, I mean, honestly is what it's there for. I'm pretty sure you can still blind somebody in the eyes a little bit. So there's a reason I don't use this APLC on my battle pistol per se, in my battle pistol configuration, because I still do just use my CZ as my battle pistol, and I kind of only use that light when it comes to EDC purposes because it has a tendency to actuate. The buttons have a tendency to actuate when they're in a bag or when they're basically when I don't want it to. That button's real easy to depress and it drains my battery in my backpack. This has happened a couple times, and it's not the only light that does this. But then again, it's not a problem if you have a holster that it's in when you're carrying it off body. When it's on body, it's completely fine. There's no problem. Off body is the issue. I don't have a holster per se for off body, and so I don't have it chambered when it's in a bag. But then again, that's the Inforce APLC. Really awesome light. I like it. It's polymer. It may not be as strong as metal, but that's fine. That's not what it's there for. What it's there for is just to give you a flashlight on your gun. And so, good job, Inforce, I guess. Alright, next light. This is another light that I bought, and it's the Olight PL2 Valkyrie. Alright, first and foremost, we're getting into the metal aluminum lights as well. And so, what this has is really cool. It kind of has these buttons just like the APLC, where you hit it and it will, just on the side, it depresses from the side. I actually really like that. I think it's very intuitive. Now, the reason I don't run this one on my battle pistol configuration is because for some reason it doesn't work that well in terms of the connection. The connection on the inside has some issues, and so sometimes when I click it to turn it on, it just won't turn on. Let's say it's maybe gotten a 1500 to 2000 rounds with this flashlight on, and it's been an issue that has persisted throughout that time. And so although it still is a really bright light, it's either 1000 or 1200 lumens, it does have that issue, and so I don't trust it on my handgun. But that leads me into the next light, which is funny because this is the Olight, well, we'll flip that around, the Olight PL Pro Valkyrie. Now this one I've had zero problems with. It's been wonderful. It's been great. It's got the magnet. It's a rechargeable version, so it's got a magnet in the bottom, and it has that quick system. Let's see if I can get this to focus. There we go. It's got a quick detach lever. Makes it very easy to get on there, and it stays on. It stays on. It's pretty tight, and I've had zero problems with this light. This one's been awesome primarily because of that feature. I really like the Olights because they do have a magnet rechargeable option on the light itself. It doesn't have batteries that you pull out and then charge separately. You just slap it on here and you can pull it off and you're ready to go. That being said, and this has had quite a few rounds in it as well, that being said, I don't choose this as my primary go-to light for my pistol, and that is because of the Surefire X300. The Surefire X300 is freaking solid. I don't think I'm ever going to worry about this thing breaking. It's just been solid ever since I got it, and I've got these little lens protectors, I guess, cleanse from Theorem. I run this as my main light because of the track record. I know a lot of people will be like, well, if you have one other light that works and it's never had an issue, why don't you trust that one to be your main battle pistol light? And track record means a lot to me. I kind of came up with my own philosophy about what I wanted to do when I was building out my little armory of firearms, and that philosophy over time became, if I am going to trust my life with certain product, I want to know that it has the history behind it. The Surefire X300 has the history behind it, and it is currently on service weapons that are currently in use in the military, and top tier stuff as well. When you're talking about special forces, that is the light that is primarily on a lot of special forces weapons, and so I take that history and that track record seriously when it comes to my life. I'm not an operator. I wasn't in law enforcement. I'm most likely never going to run into a situation where I need to shoot somebody, but I don't trust my life to something that could break when I need it to not break, or to have battery connection problems when I don't need it to have battery connection problems. And also something that you can't replace the batteries on command when you need to if the batteries ran out. So those are several reasons why, and you're probably going to hear other people say the same thing, there's a reason that these brand name items are so popular. It's not always about value. Value has its place. Still, like I said, good light. I really like it. It works. Good light. I like it. It works. But value is not everything to me. That's what I wanted to say in this video. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. I always like showing off my guns, but I like showing off why I set up my guns the way they're set up. But also subscribe if you like these kinds of videos. I've been making a couple more gun videos than I usually do, but that's because right now video games have been kind of dry, and I don't know how much more is to be said about modern warfare right now. I want more news about Battlefield 6 because Battlefield is my favorite firearm franchise or first-person shooter franchise. So we'll just see. But for now, keep in mind that all this can be done by you. If you want to test anything you want to test out, that's up to you too. This is just my personal findings. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for hanging out. See ya.